Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 6th. It's August. It's 2025. Or at least that's what they want us to believe. But whatever. I am no longer in Oregon. I spent many days in Oregon. I drove up to Washington to meet a subscriber and she wasn't home. I'm going to meet another subscriber tomorrow in the town of 𝗔𝘂𝗴𝘂𝘀, California, which is right on the coast. And then I'm going to go to one of my buddy's shops because I got to replace the CV boots on my truck. Your front axles, when you have independent front suspension, especially on an off-road truck that has this, that's driven as much as this on and off-road. When I was home and tearing the entire truck apart, I didn't replace the rubber boots, and one of them has ripped, which means if it gets dirt, water, etc. in it, it's a bad day. I stayed at my buddy Marvin's house again last night up in Oregon. Guy with beautiful redwoods on his own property, which is astonishing. Redwoods larger in diameter than my truck, which is just beautiful. It's amazing. And yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday, I'm driving down the coast. I go through Depot Bay and get footage of whales. Yeah, I was right here. And I went into a restaurant because I hadn't eaten all day. I went into a restaurant to get fish and chips, hold the chips, and clam strips. And I went to pay for it, and it was $43, and I only had $37. So I used my card. He takes my card, he walks away. And at some point, at some place, either I left my wallet and my card on the bar, or I left it in the bathroom, one of the two, and didn't realize I left my wallet there till I was 100 miles south. And I went to a auto parts store to get some those wipes, the automotive wipes that come in a tub, because I got to do axle grease on the road, so I need them. And I go to pull out my wallet, and it's gone. And I'm like, do you know what I carry on me? I had 3 ounces of gold in my wallet and a substantial amount of cash, as well as my ID, my social security card, my ATM card, all that stuff. I went back there, and it wasn't there. So I lost my wallet. So that kind of ruined my day, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. But it is what it is. So I stopped at my buddy's, Marvin's house, and then I hit the road this morning. I was kind of hoping somebody would call me because they at least found my wallet. Take the cash. The cash was substantial. Take the gold. That's $10,000 in gold. And at least give me my IDs back and my social security card and my ATM, because now my truck insurance, like all that stuff that I have hooked up to the bank, that's going to suck. But whatever, it is what it is. A month on the road, bad things happen, and I was distracted. I was talking to, as he's ringing me up, I don't know if I just left my wallet there or if I took it into the men's room. But I asked the girl, how come they have a little model train set that goes around the top of this restaurant, and it wasn't running, and I guess whatever. But here's the deal. Let me explain something to you real quick. I see, every single time that I mention this, people leave comments, even though I say they're going to leave comments. You can't eat gold and silver, you can't do this, and nobody needs that, and it's in the Bible. Well, here's the deal. Maybe this doesn't apply to you. Maybe you don't care that they can control the weather and that they are creating earthquakes in places that don't belong. Maybe it doesn't bother you that they're using technology to literally absolutely take over everything soon. Not down the road, but very, very soon. But to some people, especially the subscribers that I've been meeting, these people have actually been taking steps for 15 years, ever since they started watching my videos and videos like mine. And they have built compounds where they have stored food, where they have their own pharmaceuticals, where they have livestock. And believe it or not, they're not cool with waking up one day because we were hacked and their entire IRA or 401k is completely gone. That's theirs. They worked for that their entire lives to actually get that money. And to leave it in the bank instead of transferring it into gold and silver that you actually hold and then bring to your property that's way off the grid, that runs on solar. I mean, dude, you wouldn't be... Maybe this doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to me. But it applies to a lot of people who have their shit together and they are going to try to endure to the end. And part of that is going to be using gold and silver and lead. Because you can't carry around a year's worth of food and a year's worth of water on your back. Do you see what I'm saying? At some point, you can only gather so much. Enduring to the end, it never says how long that's going to take. So before you leave a stupid comment, you're going to do it anyways. But think about the people that actually have their lives squared away, that, you know, have lived this life fairly successfully and still understand what's coming. You know what I mean? And the funniest thing is most of the people that did this a year ago or 6 months ago, when they took their money out and got it in gold and silver, it doubled. It doubled because gold and silver went through the roof. Do you see what I'm saying? So before you leave a dumb comment, think about that. Maybe it doesn't apply to you, but it applies to an awful lot of other people. But I know, I'm just yelling in a valley. Get your money out of the bank because they're going to take it, period. And here's another fun fact. This is something I run all the time. I use this website all the time, the usdebtclock.org. And as you can see, it's steadily going up. But as you can also see, they might be some of those Q-tards. Federal marshals raid Federal Reserve Building in NYC in search of looted gold and USA gold. Yeah, that's the same gold that was taken out of the Federal Reserve's vaults underneath the Twin Towers. Do you remember the story where the dump trucks got stuck on beams loaded with gold? The buildings are being attacked by terrorists, but the alien scientists found this. But here's one thing. Let me not get too ahead of myself. TrueStream Media came up with the real number because we all knew that number, 37 trillion, wasn't even accurate. And this is very disheartening to see. I thought these guys were awake, but apparently they just keeping track of the national debt clock, because this is total, complete, and utter. This is accurate. This is nonsense. No, they're not. Not whatsoever at all. But check this out. Alien scientist, someone who's been around longer than I have, sadly, he went to aliens. You know, I guess it's no big surprise. But he also made some of the most comprehensive videos on 9/11 ever. And one of them explains how they've got whistleblowers that explained exactly how there was dump trucks with armed guards as the towers are under attack underneath the World Trade Centers, removing gold. Dump trucks full of gold. That entire thing was a massive heist. It was so multifaceted, it could only have been done by fallen angels. But here's another fun thing. TrueStream Media just discovered that the national debt is more like 150 trillion.
Brain will liquefy. It might leak out your ears.
Yeah, everyone talks about the $37 trillion debt clock and counting at a crazy rate. It is crazy. It's totally crazy. But then more quietly, they have an annual report from the Treasury Department to Congress on the real government financial condition, which includes drastically more money and unfunded liabilities and other obligations that the federal government has signed on to. You know, this report was put out by Brian McGlinchey of Stark Realities, and it was over on Zero Hedge.
And it says right here, according to him, that we're not in $37 trillion in national debt. You know, everyone got the little debt clock, but that's not true. Actually, according to a barely publicized Treasury report, the actual grand total of Uncle Sam's obligations is more than 151 trillion. That's insane. So I thought, I'm going to go get the actual report, though, because I want to see these numbers for myself. I'm one of those people. I like to do that, even though I hate reading reports like this because, like I said, they're written in language that's meant to hypnotize you and put you to sleep before any meaningful conclusions can be drawn from what's written in them.
$151 trillion. That is literally unrepayable. Remember, I was telling you before COVID even broke, I told you that they're running the national debt up. I used to show the national debt clock every other video, remember? And I said, because they're treating it like an all-you-can-eat buffet. They're just going to ring it up, and up, because they're never going to pay the bill. And they're never going to pay the bill. They're destroying America right now. And your 401k and your IRA are right in line. Don't cash it all out. Take half of it out if you don't believe me. Take 25% of it out. But get your money out of the bank, because they're going to steal it. That's what $151 trillion hidden from the American public from a Treasury report. You know what I mean? That's what that means. They don't care. They're just going to steal all your money, and then we're going to be completely and utterly broke. Like I said, you just saw it in that movie War of the Worlds. Same thing. We were attacked. Our data went down. Our data, the most precious thing on earth, our data. And now everybody on earth is bankrupt. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where they're going with this? You should.
It's going dark as we speak. Financial data has been completely drained and erased, making the Earth's population totally bankrupt. Reports from around the world show mass rioting and looting to get whatever they can. We are in utter chaos without our most precious resource, our data.
This movie looks exactly like it was whipped up in 20 minutes by AI. The entire movie. But the messages in it are astonishing. The messages are basically robots need to steal all of the data on Earth, whether they destroy all of us doing it or not, because data is the most important thing. And when you look at things like this, understand things like this. This is what all the wealthiest people on Earth are doing right this minute.
His relentless push for more AI and VR, despite him leading the charge to fuse computers and humans together so that they are one master species, the scariest thing that Mark Zuckerberg is doing is spending all of his time learning the most primal human skills. Take one scroll on Mark's Instagram and he is constantly posting from his isolated island ranch in the middle of the ocean, hunting, fishing, raising cattle, and learning how to defend himself. It's almost like he is preparing for a catastrophic event. He spent $187 million on 1,600 acres of land on the island of Kauai. This island is also not dependent on tourism, which means that it is currently self-sustaining and survivable. But even if it's not, he is building a 5,000 square foot underground bunker complete with its own energy and food supplies. He even shared a video to his Instagram of a massive movie theater built underground, so at least he won't be bored.
You do have a bunker there. Is there something you know that we don't?
No, I think that's just like a little shelter under, and it's like a basement.
A little shelter. What are you worried about?
A billionaire who can artificially control the information of 3 billion people is not your friend. Mark likely doesn't want to connect with others in the metaverse, but he does want you and your kids there.
Ever since Geordie Rose talked about releasing tsunamis of demons, D-Wave, quantum computers, I've been warning you that this is what these guys are doing. And this is what they've been saying this year. Before AI gets super intelligent, we all want underground bunkers. And then this movie, War of the Worlds, comes out July 30th, 2025. Basically, it looks like it was thrown together by AI. I can't stop saying that. And it would make sense. 2 washed up actors and an AI-produced video that coincides with them saying that November of 2025, a rock that they saw is now suddenly hostile aliens, according to Harvard. These people are going to release hell on earth. And the Bible tells you, for a specific reason, to endure to the end. They're only going to give you so many warnings. I'm only going to give you so many warnings. You only get so many warnings. This is coming, whether you like it or not. It just doesn't matter. I don't care about the Epstein list. I don't care about what Trump's doing. I do care about the fact that the tsunami that hit Hawaii, people were trying to evacuate and they couldn't because Oprah wouldn't open her private road. What kind of world is this where some fat black lady that made a living doing talk shows can suddenly say, yeah, you guys can't evacuate from the United States of America because you're going to go down my private road? Yeah, be ready. I'm out.